Went to work for this salon. The owner was bullying me, essentially.
Meet Cheska, a beauty professional and an online educator who started her journey in the industry at just 16 years old.
Beauty wasn't as big then either.
No.
It was very much a luxury.
Yep.
Now it is definitely verging on necessity.
Cheska's built her business from the ground up and has now helped thousands of beauty professionals gain beginner beauty qualifications and grow thriving businesses too.
Make your clients' experience really unique. You can treat them like family. It's not like when I trained, when it's like, don't talk about sex, politics.
In this episode, she shares her story of challenges, defeats and wins in the beauty industry.
Letting go of a salon and moving into a rented room is not stepping backwards in some cases.
Could not
It's
agree
really
more.
not. When I made the decision, I've never looked back. What I realised was I am scaling my business.
In this episode, Cheska gets real about confidence, overcoming fear, and the shifts you need to take to lead to long-term success. How did you start to become fully booked?
You need to...
Cheska,
Hello.
welcome to the Beauty Growth Academy Unleashed podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Well, a little bit of a disclaimer. The Beauty Growth Academy would not be a thing. This podcast would also not be a thing if it wasn't for you.
Well, what can I say? I should be sat here wearing a bloody crown,
You
shouldn't
should.
I?
People are probably listening thinking, well, why would the Beauty Growth Academy not be a thing or the podcast not be a thing if it wasn't for Cheska? Well, Cheska, everybody, is my little sister. And Cheska is the first one of me and my sisters, there's 3 of us in total, to join the beauty industry. You joined the beauty industry 16 years ago.
Oh, no.
That means I'm old as fuck because you're my younger sister, but that means Tara's really old. Because Tara's the older sister. So for anyone listening to this episode, I have had a brother. We're not doing the dead brother thing.
Let's pass that one for now.
We'll pass off the dead brother now. Okay, I have a brother. He's the oldest. And then it goes to Tara. So Tara, I've done a podcast episode with Tara. She's got a skin and laser clinic. Obviously, then there's me, and then there's you, Cheska.
There is. And do you know what? Please have a little bit of patience with me on this podcast because you guys sucked all of the confidence out of our mother's womb before I got a chance.
You are confident in what you know, but you're dyslexic, aren't you? So we'll touch on that as well.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that you're not fully comfortable with.
Yeah.
Tara finds it quite easy to talk openly, and you do once you get going. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I definitely sucked the confidence out of Mum's womb with Tara and Lex before you got any of it. You were such a fucking baby. You were such a baby. Like, this podcast episode is not about who did nothing wrong when they was a child, but Cheska did nothing wrong when she was such a fucking angel. And then we would do something when we was younger, like we'd have an argument and I'd go behind a wall and stick my fingers up behind the wall at my mum and dad.
Mom!
Cheska would walk around the corner, see me and go, Mom, Alicia's swearing at you. And I'd be like, I fucking hate her. Why did she give me a sister? I didn't want a sister. Anyway, I'm very grateful that you are my sister. Now we're old and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why me and Tara are in the industry is because of you. So you were the original gangster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just not very gangster, but you know. So this is about you and your journey in the industry. And you have been in the industry longer than I have, longer than Tara, longer than me and Tara put together.
Yeah.
Actually, which makes you sound really fucking old.
It does.
But you're not. So you joined the beauty industry when you were 16 years old.
Yeah.
What is it that made you want to join the industry? Tell us about that.
So, to be honest, I was really thinking about this question, and something that came in my head the other day, which is actually hilarious, and it's one of the first memories that I've got about building confidence in somebody, is actually when I was in about probably year 4, year 5, I watched Clueless. Can you remember Clueless? And they take this underdog girl and they give her a makeover and whatever else. And I was just like, I know who I'm going to do this to. I'm going to do this to one of my friends. And I literally took her into the toilets in break time, loads of butterfly clips in her hair, like a lip gloss out of Ms. Magazine or something, and watched her just go conquer the playground. And I feel like the main concept for me is making people feel better, and whether that is in their looks or just in their own mind, how they portray themselves. That is definitely one thing that attracted me to this industry.
So you left school, didn't you? And you went straight into level 2 at college, is that right?
Yeah.
So what made you think, the best route was college? Was that the only route back then?
Yeah, to be honest with you, there was no such thing as like one-day courses or, any online stuff. There was nothing like that. It was literally your college access, and that's pretty much all you had. There wasn't really even a touch on apprenticeships back then, so that was my only choice.
And did you tell your teachers at school that you wanted to go into doing beauty at college, or...?
No, not really. I didn't really have a discussion with anyone because I was always a little bit on the slower side at school. So I just kind of...
Try not to offend you at the same time.
But no, I just sort of made my decision with what I knew I wanted to do, really knuckled down in that last year to scrape my GCSEs by to get me into that level 2 MVQ.
And how was your experience at college?
So my level 2, I had a really good experience in the fact that it was all very practical, very hands-on, and that's exactly where I thrive.
Was it 2 years then?
What, the level 2?
Level 2, or was
no,
it
it was just 1 year.
And what was level 3? Was that 1 year?
That's another year, yeah.
So
but I had a
there was
break.
I thought there was a 2 year and then a 1 year, because now it is 1 year, but apparently it's always been 1 year, 1 year.
I think if you don't get the GCSE entry requirements, you have to start at a level 1.
Yeah.
And then you progress with your level 1 into the level 2. So I managed to just scrape by to get myself into the level 2. So I didn't have to do the basic.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Oh no, I don't know how, but I managed it.
She's not academic. Who am I talking? I haven't got a fucking GCSE.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Who am I to talk?
I'm actually the one with the highest qualifications.
That is saying something.
Hilarious.
Okay, so you went level 2 and it was practical. So what was you learning level 2? Was it like facial?
So like facials, lash lifts, brows, waxing,
manicure, pedicure. I think you do level 2.
Pedicure, but like a luxury version. So yeah, just your basic stuff really.
Okay, so you finished level 2, and then I don't remember your existence at this point. I don't remember what I had for tea last night. So did you say you had a break then?
Yeah, so because once I completed my level 2, the level 2 still gave me that little bit of a classroom environment, which I didn't do well in. So I was going to go and get a job. So I literally left, went, interviewed, got my first job in a salon. And it's quite funny actually because there was loads of level 3 applicants, but I interviewed really well. So just got straight in there and started working. Once I'd stepped out of that, I started doing like mobile services and worked from home, bits and bobs like that. And then I fell pregnant with Esme at 19.
Yeah.
We're young mums,
We
aren't
was
we?
really young
We are
mums.
young
Like,
mums.
we didn't get taught fucking contraception, apparently.
No, neither did Mum by the sounds of it. She's got
Mum
4
popped
of
4
us.
out every 2 years, like a fucking milking farm. But anyway, so you did your level 2, went and got a job in a salon. Did you not like that job? Or did you just decide that you wanted to work for yourself? Did you have a bad experience? Or?
I did, yeah. I had a bit of a ding-dong with one of the members of staff that worked there. It was nothing major, but at that age, I was a little bit more not sure of myself.
Yeah.
So I just thought, do you know what? I'm not learning anything from here, so I need to go
Mummy, she's being horrible.
Yeah,
Mum
she was
probably
being
went to the salon. Like,
She did not.
She used to go to school for you, Cheska.
Oh, yeah, she did go
Like,
to
Mum
school,
nearly
yeah.
kicked teachers'
Yeah.
asses about you at school.
Yeah.
I'd go home and be like, Mum, this teacher said that I'm a waste of space. I'm never going to do anything. She'd be like, oh, did he? You'd go home and be like, Mum, this teacher made me stay behind 5 minutes at break.
Oh,
and she'd
no.
storm into school.
I disagree. Anything I did, I remember throwing a book at a teacher's head and it was still that teacher's fault.
Yeah, no, literally, sunshine out your
Yeah,
arse.
man.
So you had a bit of a ding dong with a staff member, and then you decided to go and work a little bit for yourself. So at home,
Yeah, home and mobile.
then
Yeah.
what treatments was you doing at that point?
At that point, I was utilising my level 2. So I was doing everything. I was doing the facials, the waxing, the lash lifts and tints, the brows, all those basic package stuff. And obviously fell pregnant with Esme, and I was still working from home. In fact, I gave Amber, your friend Amber, I gave her a full leg wax at 9 o'clock at night and went into labour at 5 o'clock the next day
Wow,
with Esme.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So then you had Esme.
Yeah.
And then how did you progress? Because you actually went and did level 3, didn't you?
Yeah,
at
that's
college?
right. Yeah. So once I'd had Esme, because I'd taken a bit of time off, I realised I need more. I need to add more to my services, and I've still not found that thing, or that certain thing that some people find, and I just needed to do a little bit more exploring. So I went on to do my NVQ level 3, but at this point I was like 21 years old, so I was a bit older. And with the requirements for a NVQ level 3, you have to do an apprenticeship. So I was working for somebody in a salon while learning and going to college like one day a week or something. That, however, went a little bit tits up as well.
Am I the problem?
Maybe it's me.
No, I do now. I do remember this one. Yeah. So we won't mention the salon's name.
No, definitely not. So I was working for this salon for a few months, and I was doing really, really well with my college course. Really, really well.
You was passionate as well, weren't you?
Extremely. I still am. I'm so passionate about it. And I went to work for this salon, and the owner of the place that I worked was bullying me, essentially. And I had a really tough time. And to top it off, my daughter was in a relative of hers nursery.
Oh, God.
And I don't know if you can remember this, but I actually phoned you up one day, and she was so evil to me. And I phoned you up one day and I was just crying my eyes out. No, and you said, go and fetch Esme, go home and never go back. And I'll tell you what to do when you get home. And that's exactly what I did.
I remember coming to a salon once, though. I don't know. Maybe it weren't you. Maybe it was someone else.
So I went back to college.
So wait there. So you stormed out the you left the salon.
I said I was going on my break.
Oh,
I just
did
never
you?
turned back
Barry
up.
backdoored
I was not for confrontation at that point. I was just gone.
So you literally went, grabbed Esme from nursery, followed my advice, and then should I just say like April Fools when you got home?
Yeah.
No, so then you come home and you was a mess then, weren't you? Because what would she do to bully you? What kind of things would she do?
The one that sent me over the edge is, can you remember years ago before you had the Perspex screens on sunbeds? And there was like chicken wire mesh, wasn't it? And she used to make me go through and clean the tubes out. But she told me I've got to go through hole by hole, which absolutely fine. I didn't mind. It passed the time. And metal on metal makes banging noise. Now, it was quite a long salon. And I can just remember she was in the front doing nails, and I remember her screaming my name. I'd never dropped something and ran so fast in my life, because straight away my thought was, something's wrong with Esme.
Do you want me to beat her up?
No, I'm over it now.
Okay.
I'm over it.
I probably did like
I'm kind of grateful. So I ran through, and she was sat with the client, and she just went, are you getting some aggression out? And I was like, what? And she was like, oh God, isn't this ridiculous? And she wasn't even talking to me. She made me stand there, and she spoke to her client about me. And I just stood there like, what's happening right now? You just asked me to do this. I've done it. And anyway, I was over it at that point. I just thought, I'm not taking it anymore. But at the same time, I was like 21 years old. You shouldn't be talking or treating people like this. No. So I took that back to the college, and I basically said, like, they asked if I wanted to take things further, which I didn't want to. I was a new mum, got my studies to do, a lot on, and I wasn't bothered anyway. All I said was, please don't let her have another apprentice, because if you was a 16-year-old girl there, how long they'd have put up with it and thought that this is what the industry is about when it's really not. So I was quite strict on that. But at the time, my tutor was also head of department in the college, and she actually created an apprenticeship place for me at the college. So you have to have an apprenticeship to complete your level 3 at the time. So if I didn't have there, I'd have to quit the course. And because my tutor knew how passionate I was about it, she said, I'm going to create you a space here. And that's how I ended up working for the college.
Right. Yeah, because in the end, you ended up actually teaching students in the college, didn't you? And you went on to do your education training. We'll get to that stuff. But was you doing lectures and stuff like that for students eventually?
So it was more on an assessor's basis. So an assessor is basically someone that assesses your exams when you're going through your different modules. It's somebody that's not your tutor, that stands and watches over you and just makes sure that you're ticking all the boxes and it's safe to do your treatments.
Okay, and you eventually ended up doing that in the college, didn't you, when you was fully qualified? But we will get to that. So you finished your level 3. What did you do then?
So then I ended up opening my own salon.
Yes.
I did.
We was
and
actually going to go into
we was
business
gonna
on
go
that.
into business
so this
together.
was, wow.
Oh,
Goodness
God.
me, our Desmond, she'll be 13 next, won't
Yeah,
she?
must
So
be
this
12
was
years
like
ago.
12 odd years ago.
Yeah.
And I was ambitious, because I always was. And
Yeah.
I had my own sales job, and you wanted to start your own business. And I was kind of like, oh, should we go into business together? And we had these little ideas, and this shop come up front. But we just didn't end up going into business together, did we? But I
No.
helped you and supported you.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You started your first salon, which was
I
called
did.
Pretty Little Me.
It was called Pretty Little,
Yeah.
and it was before Pretty Little Thing.
It were,
was.
yeah, it were, yeah, it were. So you seen this salon, and what made you think, I'm just going to go for that?
Just my experiences, I think, working with other people, and whether it be staff or bosses or whatever. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm so good at what I was doing. I just need the space to do it. I just need no negative enforcements around me. I just need to be on my own and just crack on with it.
And it was a nice little size salon,
it was a
wasn't
lovely salon, yeah.
Yeah, you
And
had
we
like the reception area, and then you had your treatment room. Oh, you're going to have to tell the waxing story at some point on this episode.
Oh, God.
When I came for a wax, you'll have to tell that story. Oh, we're going to have fun on this episode today. But before that, let's get into the business. Okay, so you open this salon.
Yeah,
You're only
yeah.
young. You've got a young child. What did you do back then to build your client base? Because when social media wasn't...
Not really, no.
It was probably still on fucking Bebo or MSN at that point.
Honestly, it was literally word of mouth was the strongest form of my advertisement, really. And it was in a little village as well, so word spread really fast. But it was at the time where you was like, can I put this leaflet up on this notice board on this corner shop, please? Like, it really was leafleting. There was like that magazine that goes around your local town asking for like a little section in there, or paying for a little section in there. That was about it. It was so restricted looking back.
And at this point, what treatments were your core treatments? Because you've always enjoyed all of beauty, haven't you?
yeah.
You've never really been like this one thing.
No.
So what was you doing back then?
I think it was mainly around brows, definitely. Lashes was just coming into
It
this
was more
world.
cluster lashes, weren't it?
Yeah.
Like party lashes at the
Classic
weekend.
lashes had just made an entrance, so we were still using like a 14 all the way across and a C curl, and that was all your option basically. It was the most horrific time. Massage, I did a lot of massage as well, and I'd probably say definitely those three.
You did waxing as well, didn't you, Cheska?
I did do waxing,
Quite
Alicia.
enjoyed waxing, didn't you, Cheska?
I loved waxing,
I
Alicia.
didn't enjoy waxing, did I, Cheska?
Did not. You did not.
So you're building your client base up, and me being the supportive sister's like, oh, I'll book some treatments because I want to put some money in my sister's pocket. And I booked him for a leg. Was it a leg wax?
It was bikini wax.
It was a bikini wax, the devil of all waxers. So would you like to tell the story?
Yeah, so obviously you came in. I talked through what we was going to do, got you on the bed. My wax pot was already warmed up, tried some on myself, and come over to you. And before I'd even put the wax on, you were screaming into a pillow.
I can't help it.
You were screaming
I can't help it.
into a pillow.
Yeah, we're.
And
And you didn't even touch me.
And I managed to get an eyebrow wax strip's worth of wax onto you. And I pulled it off. You screamed so loud. You put your clothes on, left the salon, got in your car, and I'm still stood there with a wax strip in my hand like, what has just happened? It was the most surreal bikini wax I've ever done in my life.
And I just drove off.
And just went. Nothing. Didn't even say a
literally
word.
remember. So I am really bad with itty bitty pain.
Yeah.
But listen, tummy tuck, boob job,
Yeah.
BBL. Do you know what I mean? Knock me out. It's fine. Wax my tash and I'm gonna cry. So the bikini, I didn't expect it. Well, I obviously did because I was like writhing around on the bed, but I was like sweating.
Oh, yeah.
I was panting like I was actually
Yeah.
giving birth.
Yeah, like
It
I was killing
and
you.
I'm still the same. When Tara was doing my laser, I'm still the same. I don't get why I do it. I anticipate the pain so much that it's like I go through it twice. So. Anyway, eventually I kind of opened my leg a little bit. Cheska put a bit of wax on. I like closed it. She grabbed my Cheska's strong. Let me tell you, like this. If you want to know which one of the sisters is the strongest and the hardest, it's Cheska. Do not be fooled by that cute fucking dimple because she is an animal. But it takes a lot for her to be an animal. Anyway, so you got this little bit of wax on me. And I felt like it was a huge strip. So I think you're under exaggerating it a little bit. An eyebrow, like it was more.
Really was.
It was more. So she puts it on, she whacks it off. I swear to God, I have never felt pain like it. I jumped up, put my trousers on, got my car keys. I didn't even say a word to her. And I just walked out the salon. She followed me like into the reception, just looking at me. I got in my car.
Still with the wax strip in my hand.
Yeah, literally still with the wax strip. I remember looking in the window and just waving and just shaking my head and just driving off. I was like, no, I'll pay for it, but I'm not doing it. I'm not supporting you in that way. And I never, ever had another wax again.
No.
I don't understand how people do it. I really don't.
It gets easier.
Does it?
It does.
No, I'm not buying it. Sorry for the waxing people that are like, it does. No, I'm not having it. So you've opened your own salon. How did you start to like become fully booked?
So it definitely took a while for me. I would say ranging between 6 to 12 months to actually become fully
I think that's
booked.
about average, yeah.
Yeah. Beauty wasn't as big then either.
No.
It was very much a luxury.
Yeah.
Now it is definitely verging on necessity than what it is luxury. But yeah, back then it was, you go and get your brows waxed. Oh my God. Like, bougie queen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took probably a good 12 months, I'd say. But I heavily relied on word of mouth. Heavily. Yeah.
And would you have all different types of client? Did you have a specific client or was it just like anyone and everyone?
No, literally like pick a mix.
Yeah?
Pick a mix, yeah. A bit of everyone. And to be honest, that's what I absolutely love about this industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. See all walks of life and hear so many stories and yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you're a chatter. You see, some people say, who's your ideal client? Your ideal client is somebody who this and that. And whilst I understand getting clear on the clients that you want to serve, some people, you being one of these people, actually enjoy a real variety.
Yeah.
A variety of gender, age.
Yeah.
So how do you think that that's worked for you over the years with your client base? Because do you find that you've been adaptable? You could have someone that was,
100%.
you had young, how young was your youngest and how old was your oldest client?
What I would say in my work now, my youngest client is 18 years old. She's been a regular for about a year now, and my oldest client is 67.
Okay. And you like to serve everything in between.
Honestly, and we all get on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
Really do.
I think it's important to touch on that because, like I say, sometimes people are so busy chasing this ideal client, this client avatar, and I understand that. I just think some people don't want one type of client. They like young, they like mid, they like older, they like people who work in the post office and people who work in the hospitals.
Absolutely,
and I think variety is important.
Yeah.
I think one of your superpowers, Cheska, I hate blowing smoke up your ass. I'm gonna have to do
Listen
it.
up, mama.
Okay, 1 minute. No, I will give you this now. I'm older, I'm more mature, I've risen above it. One of your superpowers is that you are so adaptable.
Oh, yeah.
You can talk the hind legs off a don. I've never heard someone maintain such boring conversation.
Oh, easy.
Than you, but you
interested.
thoroughly enjoy it and you're interested in it.
I am genuinely interested.
One of your superpowers is that you can just talk to anybody. Is that something that's come natural to you or is that something that you've kind of got over the years?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I serve a chameleon-like service.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very adaptable to people's moods and I feel like I really pick up on people's energies and moods very fast. And I know whether someone's being quiet because they're shy or someone's being quiet because they're down. And, you know, I know how to work with that now and adapt to that, especially to the clients that I've got as regulars. And I even do that in my online training academy. When I talk to students, I know whether they're nervous. I know whether they already know, you know, in a roundabout way what they're doing and they just want to crack on with it. And I know I can adapt to each and every one and serve them how they need serving.
You are so focused on serving as well for you. Like you thoroughly enjoy helping people.
It gives me energy. It fills me. It fills my cup.
I feel like teaching was something that you was actually born to do and you prefer the students who are nervous. You prefer the students who come along and do a course and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do here. What do I do? And they feel, and you're like, listen, it's normal. Like you can really calm someone down very easily. I'll give you that. Before we go into like why you decided to go into training and stuff though. So you got the salon, you've got your client base, eventually things are going well. And then I decide to join the industry and I decide to open a humongous salon.
Yeah.
And it was at that point, weren't it? Because you still had your salon open at this
I
point.
did,
And
yeah.
I think Tara had decided to join because she was doing makeup at that
Yes,
time, weren't she?
yeah.
And a few more people. And you was quite adamant on, no, I've got my salon.
Yeah.
I'm happy here. This is my baby. I
what
can't
was I
leave this.
thinking?
I know, but you had built this salon, but also the salon had quite large overheads, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
As in it was eating into your profit. So
Yeah.
what was the fears around moving from the salon to the salon that I got, and what was the thing that made you eventually do it?
I think having my clients, because there's a 20-minute drive,
Yes.
something like that, between salons. I think losing my clients was something that I was taking really personally, because I built such a rapport. So that was a massive factor for me. Mum was working with me.
What was Mum doing?
Mum was doing nails in the front.
Oh, she would. Yeah, my mum does nails as well, guys. She still does them.
Yeah.
Bless her, she loves it.
That was another thing that was
Yeah, like,
holding me
you didn't wanna,
back.
oh,
And
mummy,
the feel,
give me that
piss
placenta.
and the fear of the unknown, definitely. And when I made the decision, I've never looked back. Never. And I honestly thought I would, because of building a business up. It is your baby, isn't it? Yeah. But actually what I realised was I am scaling my business by letting that shit go and moving forwards. Letting go of a salon and moving into a rented room is not stepping backwards in some cases.
It's really
not.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And I think so many people who consider doing this, they're scared of that fear of failure, or what are people going to think about me, or oh my God, people are going to say I've shut my salon, are they going to? And it's always about what other people think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they hold this belief that going to somebody else's salon and renting a room is a sign of failure.
Yeah, step down.
But it's not.
No way. No way.
You earned more money.
Absolutely.
You had more freedom.
Yeah.
You told me what changed for you from going from having your own salon to renting a space in mine.
The overheads just shrunk phenomenally. Actually walking into a ready-made team, which is like an absolute family at Bellevue. We are all pure family. Being able to talk to other people about things that, you perhaps projects that you're moving on to, or, any troubles that you've had on in the day, and just having that, I don't know, that connection with other people around you. And literally, if anyone is thinking about doing it, I would seriously recommend giving it a go, because you can always build another salon back up.
Yeah.
You can always do it
I think if it's
again.
gotten to the point where your salon is stressing you out, you're not enjoying it, it's costing you your profit, or it's eating into your profit, you're not having fun anymore, and it's just become a burden, go and look at renting a space somewhere. Because I always kind of have said along the years, if you're going to have a salon, you've kind of got to go big or go home.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you're just going to rent a salon, you've got to pay your water, you've got to pay your electric, you've got to pay your council tax, your music license, you've got to pay your rent, you've got to pay for your bits and bobs. All these things mount up. You only have one set of hands. So if you're working 40 hours a week, loads of that money that you earn has got to go on the bills. Yeah. Now, if you just keep doing that, you may as well go and rent a space, because you can probably, your salon might cost you, I don't know, 900 quid a month to run. You could go and potentially find a space for £450 a month, £500 a month. That's an extra 400 quid in your pocket. Absolutely. And more, isn't it? But whereas if you have got a salon, okay, if you start renting some spaces out, you can start earning a bit of money. If you employ a team, you can start earning a bit of money. But I think people think the next logical step, I need to get a salon. It's a tick thing. It's like, I need my own salon.
Yes, it is, definitely. And I fell victim to that mentality. Absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas, and that is sometimes the best option, but for some people it's not, is it?
And if anyone's worried about the clients, the loyal clients not following them, they will follow you. Yeah. They will drive the drive. I have been at Bellevue for it must be 6-7 years now.
Well, you didn't come straight away, did you? When
it was
only
a couple of months.
It weren't too long after, was it? I remember just trying to convince you, and not because I needed someone to rent the space, just to get you out of your fucking head. I'm like, mate, it makes sense. Yeah. I was like, just call it Pretty Little Meet at Bellevue if you want to, and then you let go of that eventually, thank God. Yeah. But yeah, no. You've been one of my top renters, really. Never pay late.
No, I don't.
But yeah, no, you've been there for a while now. And how many clients do you think you lost in the process?
Honestly, I would say I'd probably lost around 20 to 30%, but I've gained so much more, so much more. Had to work more days, bring more in, and earn so much more money.
And then you went on to have little Imogen,
I
my
did.
favourite human. I've got to say my second
did.
favourite human on the planet because Amelia. And my joint first favourite. Oh, I fucking love her so much. You know what? I'm obsessed with your child. Obsessed with her because she's like the last baby, isn't she?
I know.
How do you think things would have been different if you'd still had your own salon and having Imogen?
I think I'd have absolutely broke down and just packed it all in, to be honest with you. I think the overwhelm would have been way too much for me. I'm very mummy focused.
You are maternal as
Very,
fuck.
very maternal.
Maybe you took my maternal out the womb because I got none of that.
Yeah,
really.
maybe. Yeah.
I took the skill of talking and you took the mothering skills. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think my daughter thinks you're her mum most of the time. But yeah, you think it would have been stressful?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, trying to juggle two kids and a salon. Yeah, that would have been too much for me in my life, definitely.
So there was a period where you did your training to become a beauty trainer.
I did.
Was that when you was at Pretty Little Me?
Yeah, so that's when I had the salon. So because I'd left Chesterfield College and
You
I
completed
had that,
level 3, didn't you?
completed my level 3, and I got that taste of education, and I loved it. I would go around all of my
Fellow students.
students, helping them, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So I saw an ad come up. So I got the salon, I got a child, and I saw an ad come up for a beauty educator, and I went for the interview. Got through the full interview, and it was one of the biggest beauty training academies in Chesterfield at the time, and I got the job. And it was only until I got the job that I actually turned around and said to him, I haven't got my teaching qualification.
Stop.
Seriously. I wanted to make sure I got the job first.
Really?
Yeah. So they sent me on my way, and I did like an AET course, but back then it was more like 6 to 8 weeks to complete the course, and dove straight in, and within a few months I was lead educator. So I washed it.
That's amazing. And then did you go and do some work at the college as well in that time?
No,
Or have I got that wrong?
No, it was while I was on my apprenticeship that I was doing the work at the college.
Okay, like helping with the assessing of the work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's when I was
Got it.
going through my TAQA, so your training and quality assurance qualification.
Okay, got you. So what kind of students was you teaching? What courses was you teaching? How many people was you teaching in between having your salon and doing this?
So I was doing about 2 days a week at the training
I remember
academy.
which one you're about. They've gone bust now, haven't they?
Yes.
After you left.
Yeah, after literally. As I left, yeah.
Well, they treat you like shit as well, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they weren't the best, but they were all right. You know,
I've had worse.
I've dealt with worse. But yeah, so I left. Well, when I left there, I decided then I wanted to start my own training academy, didn't I? I can't even remember what your question was, Leisha.
No, it's fine. We was on about you was training for them. You was doing 2 days a week. How many students was you training? What courses was you training in?
Okay.
How did you find the experience?
Yeah, so I went on. I was training probably between 8 to 17, 18 students in a tiny little class. Like, it was so compact. And we was doing treatments like classic lash, Russian lash, lash lift, facial, brows. We were doing all sorts, really. All of what tended to be your beginner beauty courses.
Okay, and with these like 1-day courses, were they funded privately by the people who came along, or were they getting funding for these courses?
No, they weren't getting funding for them. They were sort of 1-day face-to-face courses.
Right, okay, amazing. And then I remember now where this tied in together, because then you came to the salon,
I did.
into my salon, and you rented a space, and we opened the training academy.
We did, yeah.
We fucking smashed that training academy.
Absolutely.
And it was the training academy, oh my God. So we was doing loads of courses. We had 2 rooms.
Yeah.
We was doing like 12 students.
Yeah.
I remember it. God, that was when I was so involved in the business. The training academy flew. We made so much fucking money. and you was really enjoying it, and then you fell pregnant with Imogen.
That's right.
And that's when you took a break from training, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you had your business,
That's
and we was doing
it.
the training. It was too much for you. You were so heavily pregnant though as well.
Oh,
You
I
was doing
know.
it.
Yeah.
You did it up until.
I remember having to go with because it was a time of COVID as well, so I had to go in with like masks on, and you can't bloody breathe the best of times when you're pregnant, but then having a mask on and having to then teach massage or whatever, it was really hard work.
Yeah, that was it. So it was COVID that kind of you had Imogen in COVID, didn't you?
I did,
when it
yeah.
was COVID. So
Yeah.
we was kind of taking a break from the training academy because I only wanted you as a trainer.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone else. It was our business.
It was, yeah.
We was both
Yeah.
invested in it, and it was like you was going off on maternity, but then obviously the COVID happened, and that shut us for years.
It did, yeah.
Because you couldn't do.
And then I got a newborn baby.
Yeah, and you was so maternal. And you even said to
yeah.
yourself, didn't you, like, when you had Esme, you was really committed to, like, when you had Esme, you was working a lot.
Yeah.
When you had Imogen, you wanted to be there. You said, didn't you, like,
Yeah.
I'm taking maternity.
Yeah,
And how long did you
absolutely.
take in the end?
It wasn't a massive amount of time, to be honest with you. It was probably about 4 months, something like that. But I really reduced my hours.
Yes, because you wanted to be at
I was
home more.
breastfeeding, and a newborn baby and a child, and it was just a lot.
And then eventually that kind of slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
And then we decided to take your training courses and do them online. But before we go into that, what was it that made you want to become an educator, and what was it that you enjoyed about it?
I think those click moments, like seeing a student. Obviously I got the taste for it when I became the apprentice in the college, and that's where I was introduced to it. And I was up in the staff room and with all the members of staff, and I was just talking to them, and they were so knowledgeable. And they still, you could see these women were like 50s, 60s, and they were still so passionate about this industry. And I was like, I know I'm going to be that. I still know to today I'm going to be that.
Literally going to be 80 years old.
Literally, I'm going to be 80
talking
years
about fucking
old.
contraindications.
Literally, that stuff
So
gets
by
me
the
hot.
book. Talk dirty to me.
Absolutely. So that's definitely what introduced me into it. And then once I started seeing like students passing, and then going into actually taking a class on myself, and I remember I was so nervous, so nervous. And I remember standing there and just being like, they don't know as much as you know. How can this hurt? Like, just do it and do it the best you can. And seeing student by student going click, 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 and them just getting it, it will like crack. It will crack to me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And now, upon reflection, seeing those students that I trained, 8 years ago, have got their own beauty empires now, have got staff of their own. Some of them are even educators themselves. It's absolutely surreal. Absolutely surreal.
You
it's
love
brilliant.
that, don't you?
Yeah, I really do.
You're so passionate. You're more passionate about the industry than I fucking am, I think. So we then, because of obviously COVID and lockdowns and your restricted time, we took a little bit of a break, didn't we, from the training academy? And then you decided, I want to do this online. I want to take this stuff online. Why did you want to do it online?
Quite a few different reasons, to be honest with you. First one, what's the saying? It's something like, if you don't roll with the times, you get left behind or something. Everything's online now.
Yeah.
Everything is online now. And I think one of the biggest things I noticed while doing the face-to-face courses, the one-day face-to-face courses, is we'd come across problems like someone was ill, they'd lose their deposit, they couldn't get childcare, they didn't drive.
Someone's not got a model now to work on because they did swapses, didn't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And then somebody had to leave halfway through the course, so then somebody else hadn't got a model, and it could be carnage at times. What I also think is, our brains are a bit like sponges. We can absorb a lot of water, a lot of knowledge, and as the pressures of the day goes on, you get home, you get in your car, it's out of fuel, you've got a flat tire, whatever else. That pressure's applied, that knowledge is seeping out, and we can only retain so much information. So I thought, well, how am I going to be able to reinforce this without them being here?
Yeah.
So that's why I made the online courses, and I genuinely believe that every single module that I've put on, I've made it really easily digestible.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to retain that bit of information bit by bit, and we just build that education up until we're feeling really confident to go forwards and doing the treatment. I feel that sometimes with face-to-face courses, you are shown once, and I'm not slating them at all, I used to do them, but you are shown what to do, you're shown how to practice, and then you're kind of sent off on your way. And I've been on training courses myself where that's been the case, and I thought, there's only because of my passion and my confidence that I've already got in myself that I know I'm going to crack this, whether it's I go and do my own research or whatever else, where 90% of the time I've had to, where I felt, well, let me just wrap this up into a course for somebody and make it a lot easier for them.
Yeah. And I suppose as well, like you say, in a 1-day course or a 2-day course, you only really get shown it and you get to practice it for them a couple of times and then you get qualified.
And actually it's about an hour or 2 hours worth of practical. There's a lot of talking going on, a lot of...
And then you're qualified.
That's it.
You can put glue on someone's eyelashes as many times as you want.
Hot wax.
Whereas in a online course, you can go back and rewatch rewatch and re-listen and re-listen over and over again. One thing I think is your power. You've always stuck to the same. You really enjoy teaching beginner beauty.
Absolutely, yeah.
What courses are available that you've got online?
So online at the moment, I've got lash lift and tint, 7-step definition brows, facial, classic and Russian lashes, and then I'm going to be releasing another one soon, but you'll have to head over to my page to find out which one that one is.
So there is a lot of controversy around online courses.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you respond to that? Somebody saying, how can you teach someone when they're not even with you?
Easily. Absolutely easily. How can you teach somebody on a podcast when they're not with you? The proof's in the pudding, really. We all learn differently. And some people are very audio focused. Some people are, they need to be shown multiple times. Some people like to read. And I feel like with the online courses, we're crossing all the teaching segments to be able to appeal to every individual learner.
Yeah, because I actually produced those with you, didn't I? So the online courses for the beginner beauty courses UK, they're filmed from 3 angles.
Yeah, so I really wanted to have my bird's eye point of view. So as if, you're sat
over
doing
the client,
the treatment.
for example.
Yeah. I wanted a straight ahead point of view, as if you're a student in my class and you're looking at the end of the bed sort of thing, and you're watching as you do when you are in a face-to-face class, and then a side angle to get a really close-up shot, which is actually closer than what you'd be able to see with your own eyes.
Yeah.
So we've covered all 3 angles to make it as simplistic for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that you didn't want to do was just do an online course, pass people, and that be it.
Yeah.
So you made things a little bit different, didn't you?
Yeah.
So talk to me. So your courses, you do beginner beauty courses, and they're perfect for people who want to get into the industry or people who want to extend their services. And I think when you offer a range of beauty treatments, I think it's a great idea to have a bit of a catalogue, because why let somebody come to you for lashes and go to someone else for brows?
Definitely.
If someone wants to have a lash break from having Russian lashes or classic lashes, why let them go to someone else for the lash lift? Like, it doesn't make sense, does it? So I do think that these core treatments are great treatments for beauty business owners to offer, especially if they offer, because they're all very similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you could say that facial is slightly different, but if somebody cares about the lashes and the brows, they'll be interested in skincare too. So you could sell them on, and you don't have to be a skincare wizard or professional to offer basic fucking facials.
Absolutely not.
But they're still good money earners. So you used to offer, I mean, you still do, offer a range of these treatments, and you'll be doing 500, 600 quid a day.
Absolutely.
From basic beginner treatments.
Yeah. Being able to mention to my client when I'm doing the lashes, babes, let's get that mono sorted out.
Yeah, let's get that tash off.
And I genuinely mean it. I wouldn't ever upsell to someone that I didn't feel actually needed it. But it's another 20 quid in the end of my day.
Yeah,
that I've not even accounted for.
Yeah.
So, it really does add up with money to be able to offer a couple of extra things. And I do feel as well that sometimes when people go into the industry and they just pick one thing, go and explore. How do you know that you don't have a massive passion for massage yet? You don't know because you've not explored that avenue yet, and it might absolutely change your life. You might not hate the industry. You might not hate your work. You might just hate that treatment that you're doing right now.
Well, you could try something different.
Yeah.
And your courses are affordable, aren't they? So
Yeah, they're £99 a course.
99 quid. And that is
fully
a accredited course. And also, you give one-to-one as well, don't you?
Yes.
So they do the online course
Yeah.
and then they have a Zoom call with you. How does that work?
Yeah, so at the end of every course, I always do a Zoom call with my student, and we literally talk through how the course went for them, is there any modules that they're stuck on, if there's anything else that they want me to send through. I'll go ahead and ask them some questions and just put it in there. And I do it in the most pleasant way, but I'll always try and search for some form of constructive criticism. So in some cases, somebody is just incredible. And some people sort of come back and just revisit because they've already qualified in, say, I've just had a student actually, Lucy, and she's already qualified in lash lift and tint, but she'd not done it in so long that she'd come and used my course as a refresher.
Oh, okay.
And she's just like, I can't believe how much my confidence has changed with this.
Just from watching it again.
Just from hearing it in a different point of view and, just watching it again and retraining in it. And yeah, I just think it makes such a difference.
Yeah. And then how do they send like case studies and what support do you offer them in between?
So they've got my WhatsApp number straight away. Like they can message me at 3:00 in the morning if they want to. I'm not going to message back, but
you're available.
I am
for
available
them.
all the time for them. I love it.
I love it. If
yeah.
you could do students like 60 hours a week, I genuinely think you would.
Yeah, 100%.
You love it. And you're getting
100%.
ready to gear up with it now as
Yes.
Imogen's going to be going to school, isn't she?
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, in September. She's going to be going to
That's what
school.
we're waiting for,
Yeah, so you're going to have more time to be able to teach students.
Yeah.
So what do you think in fact, before I go on to that, I want to talk about the story. Like, you won't just qualify anybody either, will you? You have standards.
Yeah,
So
I do.
is there ever been anybody that you've not qualified?
Yes.
And how did they take that?
Well, this was actually a face-to-face course, and it was classic lashes, and there was a woman, I would say that she was probably late 60s, and she was just wanting to do a bit of something, and she wasn't dead serious about it or anything like that, and she just wanted to come and do it to try it out, and I'm like, go girl, absolutely, why not? And bless her heart, she was not getting it. And I was trying, and I will adapt. I will even lash left-handed. I'm right-handed, but I can lash left-handed to show my left-handed students how to do it. I will do anything and everything it will take. And at the end of the course, I wouldn't necessarily have failed her, but I did say to her, I can't give you your certificate today. I want you to come back. We're going to go for it again. And I'm just going to add you onto another course.
Give you a bit of one-to-one.
Going to give you a bit more.
You wouldn't have charged her either,
No,
would you?
I would not. No, definitely not. And she just turned around to me and she just went, thank you so much. And I was like, what? And I was ready for crying. I didn't know what to do. I'd never come across this before, but I couldn't have sent her out into the world not knowing what she was doing. That's not fair. So I was just like, she just went, thank you so much. And I was like, you're welcome. She just went, Cheska, I wouldn't have took this course seriously if you'd have passed me today.
Yeah.
She was like, I would not have recommended you to anyone. I just would have laughed at it, and I just thought it'd be like any other course.
Yeah, they're just going to pass anyone for the sake of passing them, but you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, but I was so nervous doing it, but I knew that's what aligned with me to do. Like, I knew my standards and they weren't being met. And she was fantastic. She was so open to her not being passed.
Yeah. With your feedback now from your online students, because you've got quite a large, community of online students and people that have gone through these online courses, what's the feedback you're getting from them?
Absolutely amazing. Fantastic. I've got it's a very different kind of feedback. People are shocked of how much information is jam-packed into these online courses.
For 99 quid.
For 99 quid. And they're also shocked at the fact that they can just revisit them whenever they want. They can do it around being ill. If they're on the period and feeling no problem, do it next week. It just works around their lives. And some of my students are on bish bash bosh, done in a few days.
Out there
I've done
practicing,
it.
sent you
get me into my Zoom link. They have to send me case studies.
Yeah.
get me in for my Zoom link, get me done. I want to crack on with this. And I'll look at the work and I'll think, yes, girl, go get it.
Yeah.
But then some students can be 6 months in and they're still like, still not ready. Still not ready. I'm like, right, okay, what are we going to work on now? Let's have a look.
Do you want some
send
help?
Send me some stuff over. Right, let's work on this section. I want you to revisit this module. Here's some extra tips. And, you know, and it's just a huge variety, really.
Mm-hmm. If you qualified a student today, what 3 tips would you give them so that they could go and build a business like you've done around your children, around your family, and that earns you as much in a day as what you could make in a week?
Yeah, I would say you need to build that confidence up to start with. You need to go with a little bit of confidence. So models, get your hands-on experience. So as much as possible, like hands-on. Your partners, you know, your mums, your kids, whoever, just get your hands on people and start doing those treatments. I would recommend taking photos, and I don't care, and they probably are going to be absolutely shite to start with, in depending, I mean, you can't say a massage is shite, everyone loves a massage, but, you know, brows or lashes or whatever it might be, I would definitely say get pictures, because before long you will have progressed so much and you'll have no data to back that up.
Yeah.
So then that goes again with the confidence level. You know, it builds that confidence with yourself to think, look how much I've progressed over a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know, and that really does help build your confidence up as well. Was that 3?
That was 2. So what are 3 things that 3 tips you'd give to a student to go and build a business like you have?
And then I would probably say make your clients' experience really, really unique. You know, be yourself, definitely. And you just can't go wrong when you're yourself. You can't pretend to be anyone else. It's so difficult to maintain that appearance, really. Just be yourself, be who you are, and build a rapport. You can build rapport with those clients as well. And, you know, make that experience with them a really nice, authentic one. And, you know, you can treat them like family. It's not like when I trained, when it's like, don't talk about sex, politics or religion or this, that, the other, you know, it was really strict. Whereas now we're at this stage in the industry where we can really give our clients the best experience because we can get to know them.
Yeah, no, I agree. In your opinion, what do you think makes a great beauty therapist?
I would say one that is adaptable, and, you know, can take on an emotional point of view for your clients, because, as I've said before, it's not necessarily on the treatment outcome. It can be on the treatment experience, and you can make someone feel better with words and chatting than you can by making sure that the lashes are incredible or whatever. Yeah, I think that would make a fantastic beauty therapist. Yeah,
I agree. What would you say have been your top 3 most challenging times in the industry? Because it's not always easy, so I don't like to paint the picture that someone can come and do a course and then they can go on and conquer the world and be a millionaire. It's difficult times, isn't there? What have been your top 3?
I'd say one of my most challenging times was...
Don't bring the dead brother up, I'm going to be fuming.
That was a challenging time, all right. I would say it's imposter syndrome that's really affected me. I think looking back, when I was in about year 5, I got diagnosed with dyslexia, and that instant diagnosis just relayed on top of me. You are thick. You are, you know, you won't be able to understand this. You're not enough.
I probably enforced that a few times.
You definitely did.
If sisters...
I just part of my own chin. Just enforcing it
that
for
is
you.
Staying in. That is, do not edit that out, Jack. Cheska's dribble is staying in. No, but like, what are sisters for if they don't bully you? Cheska's dyslexic. You can't even spell dyslexic.
It probably took me about 16 years to spell dyslexic.
But the thing is, why would they make a word for people who can't spell or read easily so fucking difficult to speak, to read or spell?
Oh my God,
it makes no sense, sorry. So, yeah, imposter syndrome from your dyslexia diagnosis.
Definitely. I think that was very... it built limitations on my life. I allowed it, absolutely.
But you was young.
I was young. I was definitely... And straight away, nobody else in the family was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the thick one. This all makes sense now. And anything else that went wrong sort of just reinforced, that's why. Until, had some dodgy stories, obviously, like I say, throwing a book at a teacher's head. That was always a fun one because she tried to get me to read in class and it was like some English literature bollocks, really. Can't even remember. Probably couldn't read the title, to be honest.
But she knew you had dyslexia.
She knew I had dyslexia, and I literally was sat there flicking through pages trying to count all the students in front of me to figure out what page I was on, so then I could try and practice it. And she was a cow, and she literally was like, "No, stand up." And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. She went, stand up and turn around and face the class. And I did it. And she went, now read. So I threw the book at her head and said, read it your fucking self.
Did you?
I got suspended for about 3 days, but Mummy said it was okay.
Oh, fuck off. I get excluded for setting something on fire and I'm the worst child in the world. Okay, so imposter syndrome was one of your challenges. What else?
But then I realised that, going on, Richard Branson, bloody Michelangelo, Adele. We all love Adele. They're all dyslexic. So I actually turned that into my superpower. Dyslexia power.
And get you a cake if you want.
But yeah, now dyslexic people think very creatively and we're quite known for being like empaths as well and understanding when people are struggling and wanting to connect on that level too. And I think that's what makes me a fantastic teacher, that I can really go outside the box and find different ways for it to click for people.
Yeah, and I think you are so much more empathetic with your students from your experiences.
100%.
You're so patient.
100%, yeah.
And you're like, what do you need? Let me help you. My job is to serve you.
Yes.
How can I help? Kind of
definitely.
thing. Okay, that was one challenge. What 2 more challenges?
Another challenge would probably be somebody not liking my work. And, you won't always get that. A lot of people won't necessarily like your work and then just not come back. And you just kind of forget their name in the diary or whatever. I used to take it incredibly personal. Why? What have I done? What did I do wrong? What can I do better?
Because you loved it so much.
I loved it and I was so passionate. I put everything into it. And, it sort of made you stumble back a little bit. So I think, again, with time, you have to just learn to let it go.
Yeah, it's not personal.
You're just not, not, what's the saying about a shoe fitting or...
Oh, I don't fucking know. If the shoe don't fit, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know.
Number 3. If the shoe don't fit, don't book back in.
Yeah.
If the shoe don't fit, then you're on my block list. I feel like it's not any of them, but if the shoe don't fit, then my browser's shit. Okay. Number 3
would be probably confidence.
You found that challenging?
Yeah, to start with, definitely. Because like I say, that whole imposter syndrome side of it. But then building data with myself, building relationships with clients, looking at my pictures and seeing my actual work progress, that you can definitely get over that. And I am my students' biggest cheerleader, biggest cheerleader when it comes to confidence, because I feel like that is the starting point for everything.
Yeah, I agree. And then what have been your top 3 successes?
One of my successes would be letting my salon go.
Yes.
Like, surrender. Yeah. Let it go. Let that shit go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
We need to get Imogen
No,
on.
you're not having Imogen on podcast.
Oh, my God. Who's your favourite auntie? Auntie Alicia. She literally, I've trained her.
Yeah, you have.
So, letting go of the salon was one of your actual biggest wins.
That was one of my biggest wins, definitely. I was really holding myself back by having that around my neck. I would say, obviously, being a part of, it sounds very soppy, being a part of passing so many hundreds of beauty students and changing their lives by giving them that certificate and giving them the best education I possibly can to send them forward, that is a real success moment in my eyes.
You take it so personal, don't
Absolutely, 100%, still to this day. And I would say another successful moment would probably be knuckling down in those GCSEs, getting me into this industry that I purely, truly, wholeheartedly enjoy, while still being able to maintain my family life and being with my kiddies, my girlies, being able to do bits and bobs on a Monday with Imogen, go for a walk to the park. That is still
That's
success.
a win for you.
Yeah, it's definitely still success in my eyes.
I love that. So tell me more about your online courses. Can anybody do them? Where can people find out more about them?
Yeah, so anyone can do them really. They're definitely beginner beauty courses. So they're fantastic for people that are just stepping into the industry, or if somebody's already in the industry and say they're focused around facials and they're wanting to move on to massage, or if they're into brows and they're wanting to touch into lashes.
Yeah.
Another one that I seem to be coming through at the moment is I'm having a lot of salon owners that are not able to actually train their staff members that are booking my courses, so it sort of takes that weight off their shoulders as well. So yeah, that's pretty much who I'm getting through the door at the moment.
And where can people find out about these online courses? Can they just sign up and start training right away?
Yeah, definitely. So you will find all the information on my Instagram. My Instagram is Beginner Beauty Courses UK. I'm watching you judge me. You are judging me with those eyes.
I'm going to tag them all. I'll tag all your accounts and everything in the show notes below.
Yeah, so obviously you just hop on the link from there and that'll take you straight to the courses, and it's a really easy sign-up process, and it's a really easy step-by-step course. Nothing is complicated about it because I can't do complex.
Yeah,
I don't deal with complex. Yeah.
And then finally, the most important question. What is it like having a sister who is so amazing and inspiring and successful?
Well, I love Tara.
You fucking bitch. No, we actually said, didn't we? Like, we're actually going to come back and do an episode where we go a bit behind the scenes for me, where you're going to interview me and Cheska's going to go like behind the scenes and just, everyone's
going to get some real good secrets.
Yeah, my fucking career is just going to go straight downhill. To be honest, I think I openly admit everything, so I just can't do secrets. So, yeah, I mean, you've been a great guest, Cheska. Thank you so much for joining me. Eventually.
I know.
God, I've tried to get Cheska on this podcast for so long.
Busy girl.
So long.
Strong boundaries.
It's not that. You're a pussy. I'll tell them.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
Absolutely shitting
I can't
myself.
talk. I'm so nervous. But actually, I've been training you over the last few weeks. And Mum was to just get in front of a camera and get more comfortable. You did well.
Oh,
Your training
you.
Posh Voice didn't come on once.
It didn't, did it?
No, you did really well.
Oh, no, I don't know who she is.
And if anyone's wondering, we are actually full sisters. So
yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah, we are. So my mum and dad and Cheska's mum and dad are the same parents, even though I'm this good looking and she's, that good looking. But
hilarious.
No, they do. Everyone does think we're separate because look at Lex, look at Tara, look at me, and look at you.
We're like
we
a Napoleon
like
ice
men,
cream.
so we do have very deep voices. But we don't look the same.
No,
so
not
we
at
did
all.
question Mum's faithfulness, a couple of times. But apparently Mum said that you can get a DNA test anytime you fucking want.
Yeah, she
So
did.
I've not called a bluff yet, but who knows? Maybe we'll do it in the future. Anyway, thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure.